All right, let's dive into a really powerful parable. It's a story that sets up this epic clash between two totally different ways of seeing the world. On one side, you've got the resentful venom of the tarantulas, and on the other, the incredibly difficult but ultimately triumphant climb of the Übermensch. The story kicks off with this, honestly, pretty chilling warning. It's making a huge point right from the get-go. The most dangerous monsters aren't the ones you see coming. They're not out there in the desert. No, they're a kind of poison that can infect a whole society from the inside out. So what is this creature? What's this thing that can literally crawl into the hearts of men? So the whole thing starts in a temple courtyard, and there's this Nazarene figure, right? He's watching the crowd, and he sees something under the surface. It's not just piety he's seeing. There's this hidden bitterness, this resentment bubbling up towards the powerful, and it's right there, in that moment, that he lays out a choice, two completely different paths for all of humanity.
And this, right here, is the heart of the whole conflict. You've got one path that wants to level everything, to flatten the world using what the story calls the lie of equality. And then there's the other path, a path that says true greatness is only born from struggle, from what it calls a glorious inequality. So let's start with the first group. Let's unmask these tarantulas.
Okay, so who are these tarantulas? The parable gives them a really intense name, preachers of nothingness. And that's because their whole philosophy, it's not about building anything. It's not about creating. It's actually all about tearing everything down, all just to create a world that's completely empty of greatness.
And their goal is, when you think about it, pretty terrifying. They want a world with no greatness whatsoever. They use the idea of equality like a weapon, not to lift people up, but to poison anyone who's exceptional. They want to turn the whole world into this flat, sterile plain, where nothing of any real value could ever grow. A world where no one can rise above them. You know, safe, predictable, but in the end, just empty.
This image just captures their whole strategy perfectly. See, the tarantulas, they operate behind this mask of virtue. They throw around words we all like to hear, words like justice and fairness. But what's really going on behind that mask? It's something much, much darker. It's pure, uncut resentment and envy.
And this table just lays out the deception so clearly. Look at this. When they say all should be equal, what they're really thinking is no one should be greater than us. When they call for justice for all, it's not about fairness at all. It's a hidden call for revenge against the strong, against anyone they envy. And praising the humble, they're not saying humility is a virtue. They're saying those who can't challenge us are safe. Okay, so that's the poison. Now what's the antidote? The parable gives us a completely opposite ideal. It calls it the justice of the earth. This is the path of the Übermensch, or as it's often translated, the overman. Now this philosophy is a direct, head-on challenge to everything the tarantulas stand for. In this worldview, inequality isn't some problem to be solved. No, it's the engine of all progress. The idea is that all the differences between people, in strength, in creativity, in willpower, that's the very fuel that pushes us to strive, to climb, and to become something more.
So the big question is, how does this overman come to be? Well, the path is basically forged in three key stages. First up, struggle. Greatness isn't just handed to you. It's created from hardship, from pushing past your limits. Second, it's fueled by inequality. Without those differences, what's the motivation to even try to climb higher? And finally, you have to embrace the climb itself. The real value isn't found in being safe. It's found in that beautiful struggle of becoming something more.
This infographic just lays out the whole conflict so well. It's the two forces side by side. On one side, you've got the tarantulas. Their core motivation, resentment. Their weapon of choice, guilt. And their end game, a totally flat, sterile world without any greatness. Then, on the other side, you have the overman. The core principle is that glorious inequality. The weapon is struggle, and the goal is just constant striving. Okay, so we've got the theory down. Now let's see how this whole philosophical battle plays out in an actual story.
So, welcome to Counter Earth. Imagine a place designed to be a perfect garden, a paradise. But something went wrong. The people there, they chose absolute safety. They refused the necessary struggle of life. And when they did that, the very liquid blood of their awareness, it just began to thicken, to curdle with this unspent energy of resentment. And out of that stagnant rot, a truly terrible shadow was born.
Okay, so here's our cast of characters on this world. You've got Adam Warlock, who is basically the overman, the embodiment of that drive to overcome.
Then you have the everyday people who've become what the parable calls the last man. They chose comfort over growth. And rising from their ranks, the 12 apostles, who are this world's version of the Tarantulas, preaching equality out of pure secret envy. And all of their combined resentment, it actually summons something, a final horror, the man-beast, the literal, physical embodiment of all that decay.
And this is the apostles' dreadful law, their man-beast axiom. Just listen to this. That the world may become full of the storms of our vengeance. Let us call that justice. They've literally written down their desire for revenge and dressed it up like it's a holy creed. They've put a name to their venom, and that name is justice.
Now, this is absolutely crucial to understand. The apostles' attack on Warlock, it isn't physical. They're not trying to punch him. They use the venom of the tarantula. It's a psychic attack. It's all designed to paralyze him with guilt, to make him feel bad for his own greatness. In a way, their poison is like an invocation. It's the final channel they need to open to bring back the ultimate horror of their society, the man-beast.
But here's the thing. Warlock doesn't play their game. He doesn't fight them on their terms. His triumph comes in a flash of cosmic awareness. He basically holds up a metaphysical mirror and forces the apostles to see the truth of their own ugly envy. And in that one moment of pure truth, their whole lie of equality just shatters. The monstrous man-beast they brought into being, it's revealed for what it is, nothing but a hollow phantom born from their own bitterness.
So, okay, we've gone through the parable, the poison, the whole battle on Counter-Earth. After all of that, what's the big takeaway? What's the final warning this entire story is trying to leave us with?
It really boils down to this one single question that the story wants us to ask. Anytime you hear those big virtuous words like justice or equality, you have to ask yourself, what's the real motivation here? Is this a call to build something up, to create, to strive? Or is it just the resentful whisper of a tarantula aimed at tearing things down?
And that's really the ultimate lesson, isn't it? The parable is giving us a kind of key, a way to unlock the true motivation hidden behind the words we hear every single day. It's a permanent warning to always look past the surface, to listen for that whisper behind the word, and to learn how to tell the difference between a genuine call to build and the resentful, poisonous whisper of a tarantula.